Good evening, guys, and happy Saturday to all of your sunshiny faces. Well, guys, I'm going to take a shower and get to bed. It is late. I have been up so early the last 2 days, and I've had so much stuff going on the last 2 days, and like I said, I am beat. I've taken like almost kind of 2 naps today. So like I said, it is my bedtime now officially, but I got up this morning. My mom woke me up. I think she woke me up at like 7:50 this morning. And because I think originally she said we were gonna leave at 8 o'clock. We actually left at like 8:30 or 8:45. I think 8:30 was the original time we were supposed to leave by, but I think yesterday she told me 8 o'clock. So when she woke me up at 7:50, I was like, I have to be ready in 10 minutes. Like, I was freaking out. And then we didn't actually leave though until 8:45. And we got there like a few minutes, like maybe 20 minutes late or something like that today to my cousin's wedding. It was just like the reception because they actually got married on a cruise, but they wanted to still be able to like celebrate like a wedding party kind of like with family. So I think my grandparents went, my aunt, and I don't even think my uncle went with. Like, my aunt's remarried, so I think my cousin's dad might have went with, but I don't think like my aunt's like husband went with. I also think that a few of the siblings also didn't go with, possibly. I don't know, because I just saw from like pictures. I didn't even actually find out like all who actually went to the party, but like afterwards they obviously like took like family photos and stuff like that today, like at the wedding party kind of, with, you know, everybody and stuff like that. Really cool. Like, my cousin was explaining too, because we were asking like a few questions. So we'd asked like, oh, like, you know, where were you guys actually married? Like, you know, were you married in a port, or like technically I guess they were really married like in international waters. But my cousin was saying that I don't even know if it would have mattered had they gotten married in like, you know, like, you know, they were on a port in, you know, like a certain place or something like that, because she said that it mattered about where the boat was registered out of. So I think the boat, she said, was registered out of like Bermuda or Bahamas or something like that. And so that's technically where their marriage license, I think, actually is, even though again they were married in an international waters. And like I said, even if it had possibly been on a port, I don't know if that would have changed anything. But again, that's like kind of interesting that that's where like their marriage license is technically like from, or whatever, or that's what it says on their marriage license, or, you know, whatever. I guess that's kind of interesting because people get married on cruises like all the time, you know. It technically falls where the ship is registered for, you know, which, like I said, I think is interesting. So it was really cool though, like to get to be there and like get to see family and everything like that. Like, one of my aunts that lives in Texas that we don't get to see that often, she was there, and she actually sat at our table too, so it was really cool to get to see her. And we were talking about like getting together and stuff like that, and I was saying, I was like, I'm just scared to fly. Like, we were talking about this too because my grandpa actually wants to get everybody together to go on like an Alaskan cruise, and the thing is that like they probably would be in like a port in, you know, like Washington or something like that, and so we would probably have to fly there. And I was like, I'm just so scared of flying. Like, I am terrified of flying. I do not want to fly. And so we were even talking about that because my aunt was like, oh, I want you guys to come visit, like, you know, come visit me in Texas. And I was like, I am like terrified of flying. I was like, I probably won't fly, you know, because she was like, oh, explaining this, and she's like, oh, well, like, if you're too scared to fly, then you can take the train. Like, it's like a 24-hour train, but you can like take it there. And I was like, do they have like sleeping cabins? I was like, because I definitely, you know, like take a train over flying, like hands down. And again too, even if it would be a little pricey, I feel like in the grand scheme of things though, like it's probably less stressful than flying, possibly, just because I feel like there's so many times like your flight gets delayed and like this stuff. Most of the time trains are pretty on point for like that kind of stuff not happening. And again too, you don't have to deal with layovers all that often and stuff like that, so long as like, and she like was talking about it like she knew exactly like somebody had either done this before or she had done it before or like whatever. But, you know, that this is like kind of a, you know, like to where she lives, you know, like it's a normal thing. Like there's, you know, train that runs to there. So I was like, that's pretty cool though, because I wouldn't mind taking a train. I've got no problem with trains. Like we take the train a lot when we go into the city. So, you know, again, I would be much more comfortable taking a train out to Texas than to be flying to Texas. Really flying to anywhere. But I was like, maybe too though, if we're gonna do the cruise, I could take a train ride out there and, you know, I don't know for sure exactly when, you know, like that is going to be planned, or exactly who is even going to be able to go and stuff like that. And it's going to be a little pricey as well, the cruise in general. But again too, I don't know like what's, you know, the price ranges would probably be pretty pricey. But again too, it was a really great time to get to see family and everything like that. We actually picked Matthew up to go to the wedding today too, because it was on the way. So like he's like almost an hour, like almost kind of the halfway point between like there and where they were having like my, you know, again, my family lives, most of them live like out there like in the same area. So it's like about an hour-ish to get to Matthew, and then a little over an hour from him to get to the wedding. So it was like, it doesn't make sense for Matthew to drive out here to us and then us take him there, or, you know, like again, if we were going by, we'll just pick him up kind of thing. So it was, again, literally right on the way. Like me and my mom went, I don't remember when we went to go see my grandparents last, or we went out there for some reason, but it was like the same thing too. I was like, oh look, there's like Matthew, you know, like we literally pretty much almost passed him, you know, like it was just like one road and we would have pretty much been there, compared to like where we take to get like out to my grandparents' house. So we ended up going out there today, and like I said, it was just really good to like get to see family and everything like that, because that's my like grandpa's side of the family. So like again, everybody was like, you know, pretty much everybody was there that like I expected to be there. I don't think there was much of anybody else that wasn't. I do have another uncle too that is in Texas, and he wasn't there. But again, I think pretty much everybody that I was like expecting to see was there. So that was really cool, again, to get to see everybody. But again, came back home, and again, the wedding, it was like at 11, I think, or something like that. So we were up at like 8 o'clock, and again left at like 8:30 because the amount of time that it took to get there, 8:45 or whatever. And we got there around like 11:20, I think. The thing was that we were actually like pretty early, because we were like one of the first people, it felt like, to show up, like compared to how many people ended up showing up. Like we were like the early birds, I felt like, to the party. So I felt like timing was actually pretty good. And then again, we got back home maybe around 6 o'clock or something like that. I do remember I was like back in my room at 6 o'clock, and then I was like, I don't know what else to do, because I was like, I kind of want to eat, but I don't know. So I ended up actually putting a movie on. I was kind of full from eating at the party, but I knew I was going to be hungry, but like I didn't know when I was going to be hungry. So I was like, I'll just put on a movie and then like go and make something once I'm hungry. So I put on a movie, and I ended up watching Breakfast at Tiffany's because it was on Amazon Prime. So watched that, and then I fell asleep for like a half an hour, woke back up, rewound it, then watched it all the way back through, the part that I like fell asleep from, and then ended up getting up, went to go get myself something to eat, and I was like, oh, the Bulls game was on. So I ended up watching, like, or was going to watch the end of that. But then my dad was like, oh, well, the Hawks game's on at 9 o'clock. It starts at 9 o'clock. So we both stayed up to watch that. Got to see the first win of the season. So we stayed up, watched that. It was like almost midnight by that point. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to go to bed. But I still had to finish editing today. So I finished doing that. Now I'm getting ready to take a shower and finally get to bed. But again, I had both of my grocery hauls yesterday, Meyer and Jewel, and Caputo's is the only other one I have a haul for, and I don't know if my dad's going to try and go tomorrow or Monday or when he's going to go, but I think they don't have practice on Monday because they don't have school. So might be able to do that. And then on top of that though, got up early for that yesterday so we could get that all done before the football game. Got up early today because of the wedding. We'll have to get up early tomorrow because the Bears are playing in London and the game is at 8:30, I think, in the morning, our time. So it's super early, and got to get up again for that. So I got to get to bed for that. So I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.